In this video, I want to talk about some of the advice that's out there that's on YouTube that a lot of people look for when they're just starting their channels out. I looked at a lot of this advice and I found some good advice out there, but I also found some bad advice out there or some advice that it maybe not didn't apply to me. So in today's video, I just want to talk about some of that advice and some of the things that are said out there, the good and the bad, and maybe some things that you can look at to apply to your own channel and your own journey as you go. First, I want to go through a little story that I had in 8th grade in middle school. I was in an art class and I did an art project that was for everybody in the class, and I just did my art project. And when I turned it in, my teacher, they liked it. They liked it. They said that it had some design elements in it that caught their eye. And so they put it in like one of the school or the school district's art competition. And he wound up winning 3rd place. So I never really thought anything of it when I created it. I just kind of did what I thought I liked to do, and apparently it met some design rules or whatever, and it had like negative space and some other stuff. I really don't understand all that because I'm not an artist in that sense. But what that showed me was that there is some sort of creative side of me, and even though I didn't see it at the time, I have an artistic ability, and I think everybody does. I think everybody has some sort of creative um, personality, something in their personality that's creative. So I just wanted to bring that up as an example that you don't have to be an artist to have some sort of creativity and go off of what's inside of you and go off of what you feel and think. And, other people can see that side of you and they see a creative side and they see something in you that is interesting. The reason I bring that up is because I think in YouTube, we all have sort of a creative side. So when you watch these videos, there's a lot of videos about how to be successful on YouTube. One of the videos that I've seen that have really kind of helped me is the videos that are talking about increasing views through click rate. And they do that through the packaging of the video is what they call it. And it's basically the title of the video that gives you a curiosity or sparks an interest somehow in the viewer to click onto the video. Sometimes that's done with emotion, sometimes it's done with curiosity, or just a question that's very a curious question or whatever. The titles can really bring in a lot of views if you do them correctly, rather than just having a generic title or a day for my vlog or whatever. Like, if you get more creative with the titles, or if you find titles that have worked for other people, you can actually use those. That's worked for me in the past, where I've found titles that will help to get views into my channel. The other thing that's helped me is the thumbnails, getting better thumbnails. So I think those videos where they talk about doing titles and thumbnails, those do help a lot. The other type of video that I've seen that does help a lot is forming the script, or kind of going off of, what are you going to give them after they've clicked into your video. So the things that have helped me is kind of the way you format your script. And I've done scripting before, word for word scripting, and it's a little different. This one's not. This one's more of a bullet point. But what's helped me is kind of figuring out like a hook to give people at the beginning of the video to keep them interested to see more later on, and to get that hook kind of answered later on. And to use stories in your video. I think, as people, what we're trying to make content for is other people, and it's just another form of communication. So those are a couple examples of some good advice that's out there for YouTube. But there are some videos out there that honestly, I haven't even clicked on some of them because it seems so almost like clickbait, or like people are trying to con you into something to believe about the algorithm or whatever. I kind of worry about when people talk about the algorithm. And I'm not saying that all those videos are bad, but if we're making content for the algorithm instead of trying to make content for people, I I think that kind of, in my experience, it hasn't really worked to try to go for what the algorithm wants, because I'm not really even sure how the algorithm works, and I don't think anybody is. So looking out for those videos that are about how to turn on a secret setting, or there's something, hidden in your YouTube that once you flip that switch, you're just going to start unlocking the algorithm or start getting tons of views or subscribers or whatever. I think those are kind of videos that are, maybe they're stretching it a little bit. There's also other videos out there that tell you not to use music in your video, that it's distracting, or don't edit, over edit, or under edit, or don't use flashiness or whatever, or don't edit at all. Just upload a raw video, and then, authentic is the new YouTube style. And, some of that stuff could be true and it could be good advice. But I think it depends on what you're trying to do, who you're talking to, who you are as a YouTuber, who you are as a person, and what fits your style the most. And I think that's what's more important, rather than trying to follow one, you know, advice for everybody, is do what fits for you. So try different things out, even if it's something that goes against what people are saying to do or what not to do. Try it out anyway. It's not going to hurt anything. If you're starting YouTube and you want to try something out, just give it a shot and see if it works for you. See if it works for your audience, or see if it works for making you feel more comfortable, or however it is. In my experience, I've tried a bunch of different stuff, and some of the things have worked, some of them haven't. Some of them have been more fun to do for me. I do like doing a little more editing sometimes, or adding music or whatever sometimes. But it is more work too, so you have to think about that. So when you do add more things, more shots, more cameras, more angles, it can add to the editing, it can add to the overall producing side of it, I guess, and it can make it more complicated. It can also, if you think about, the authentic thing, people are saying just turn on the camera, walk around and be authentic. And that works for a lot of people, especially people my age and older. It's a great thing, because I think we're getting away from some of the quick edits and quick flashiness, and I think that's kind of going away a little bit. But at the same time, there might be a place for that too. But being authentic, being on the camera, just hitting record and then uploading the whole thing, if it works for you and it's easier for you, play around with that and see how that does. In my experience, that has worked too, but I still like to explore different things and try different things. And one thing we're trying to do here is we're trying to reach people, and we're trying to get our message across to people. But I think people are losing sight of the journey itself too, and how being a YouTuber, it can add a lot of fun to your life. It can add, it's a process. Sometimes you have to put that experience in. You have to do these things that you want to do, and you can't just listen to advice and just say, okay, that's the only way you can do it. Some of these things you have to experiment with on your own and see if it's going to work for you. So you can use not having an audience to your advantage right now. If you want to try a bunch of different stuff, if you're a young YouTuber or you haven't started yet, and you don't really have an audience, kind of like me, I'm at a point right now where I can try a bunch of different stuff. I have a small following of people that do come back and watch my videos. The number of subscribers I don't think really matches the people that come back and view my stuff. Just from, reading comments and stuff like that. I mean, there might be some that never comment or whatever, but I don't think it's the full number of subscribers that come back and see my videos all the time. Some people might have subscribed and then they never see me again. Like their feed doesn't, I don't show up in their feed or anything. But right now is the perfect time for me to explore these different options and explore what works for me, and then I can get more of a game plan and a kind of a flow that I can get comfortable with. And the more comfortable I get with it, the more I'm able to deliver the message that I'm trying to deliver. The point, I guess, that I'm trying to make with this part of it right here is you need to be able to enjoy this. If you want to do it long term, you need to be able to enjoy it and do things that make you happy while you're doing it. Otherwise, if you're just, I mean, it's good to give the content to other people. It's good to give the value to the viewer. That should be prioritized. But if you're not enjoying that process at the same time, then it really doesn't make sense. It's not probably going to last very long. Casey Neistat is a good example of this. When somebody asked him, what does he make content for his viewers for, or how does he make content for his viewers, he kind of made it a point to say that he doesn't make content for his viewers. He makes the content that he wants to put out. And it just happens that he's Casey Neistat and he's very interesting, but people tune into him. So he found his audience by being himself, and then people came to him and found him that way. So there's other examples of this too, and I'm not saying it's the only way, but I think if you're doing stuff that you enjoy doing, then people are going to see that you enjoy it and they're going to come find you. They're going to join your tribe, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be part of your journey with you. Going back to the art project that I did in 8th grade, I didn't know I was onto something there, but the teacher saw something in me, and I just created something that I enjoyed creating. And when I do that in YouTube now, I think about that and I think I'm just going to do what I want to do and try to give value at the same time. And hopefully I can start to get better at that process and develop my YouTube channel and my journey and my character and just grow in YouTube in general. I'd like to think that if I can do it, you can do it too. You can pull out that creativity and do something that other people can appreciate.